Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, January 17th. A very active weather pattern continues for much of the nation. A major storm is pounding the state of California right now with heavy rain along the coast, heavy snow inland. That storm actually treks across the country over the next few days, becomes a major precipitation producer for the eastern third of the nation over the upcoming weekend. Everything is on the table right now in the I-95 corridor region, from heavy rain to accumulating snow to accumulating ice. All of the above could actually happen in the I-95 corridor region. For those higher elevation interior locations, let's say from northern and western Pennsylvania up across interior New England, it could end up being 1 to 2 feet of snow out of this system over the upcoming weekend. Before we get to some of the details on the weekend event, we have a minor snow event here in the I-95 corridor region for tonight. Looks like a coating to an inch or two is quite likely in the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor, with those higher amounts in the ranges of a coating to a couple inches in the north and west, and the lower amounts to the south and east. Let's take a look at the latest surface map. First of all, kind of an important little feature here right now. Cold front system is working its way through the mid-Atlantic region. It's not going to turn much colder today, but dew points have dropped behind this, and that'll kind of pave the way for some evaporative cooling early tonight as the precipitation begins. In other words, it allows for the cooling of the lower atmosphere, and predominantly snow will break out early tonight in the I-95 corridor region. There is a chance that late tonight the snow could end briefly as a period of sleet or light freezing rain towards daybreak. Could make for some slippery spots, but again, right now we have kind of cold high pressure here setting up over New England. Most of what falls tonight in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City should be in the form of snow. Meanwhile, out west, again, a major storm off the Pacific coast impacting California. Heavy rains along the coast, up to 4 or 5 inches already, and tremendous snow in the Sierra Nevada region of eastern California. Not only a few feet of snow, in some areas they're going to end up with 5 to 10 feet of snow when all is said and done. And this is kind of the last in a series of storms that have pounded California over the last few days, and basically it treks across the country and produces a major event in the eastern part of the nation this weekend. Well, here's the latest radar loop from WSI's and Telecast.com. First of all, low pressure over the Ohio Valley will head towards the Mid-Atlantic region later today. That is where our snow will come from. May begin at the end of the afternoon in the D.C. metro region, early tonight in Philadelphia, New York City, and again expecting anywhere from a coating to an inch or two, the inch or two in the north and west side of the big cities, a coating on the south and east side of the big cities from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City. Meanwhile, out in the west, just a tremendous storm pounding much of the western U.S., specifically California, getting tremendous rainfalls along the coastal regions and tremendous snow. Higher elevation areas of Sierra Nevada, for example, you can see right here the snow is showing up in blue, and much of the western U.S. has been pounded by snow, those higher elevation areas. In fact, let's take a look at the forecast map for snow accumulations over the next 24 hours. And here it is, the forecast from NOAA for the next 24 hours. That's today and tonight, going into early tomorrow. And just look at what's going on out here in the higher elevations of the western U.S. If you are a skier, you love to go out in the west, you'll have snow for a long time to come after these series of storms have pounded the western U.S. Just a little bit of an area showing up here. And by the way, all these represent areas where the probability exists for 4 inches of snow or more. So this is heavy snow expected out here, and especially over the Sierra Nevada. This storm system in the east is a minor one, maybe an isolated 4-inch amount expected here over the next 24 hours in West Virginia, but again in the immediate I-95 corridor region, expecting a coating to an inch or two. Well, let's take a look at last night's 0Z GFS model run at 500 millibars. We'll talk about the players on the field. Still, questions need to be answered about the weekend event. There's still some wiggle room in terms of the storm track. A little bit farther to the south and east will present a little bit of a colder solution and more snow and ice closer to the coast. A track to the north and west will produce some more rain along coastal areas in the I-95 corridor, and that is still yet to be determined. This is the upper level pattern as we start the day on Thursday. Right here is the area of upper level energy that will set off that snow in the I-95 corridor region this evening. Not a significant upper level feature, hence a coating to an inch or two, nothing more expected than that at this particular time. Meanwhile, out off the west coast, this is the main driver for the weekend storm in the eastern U.S., still off the coast in the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean, but it comes ashore later today. Let's move forward here, and here we go. That strong feature over the west coast, again, will trek basically west to east over the next couple of days and produce a major event in the eastern third of the nation this weekend. Here's the upper level feature that will help to produce snow in the I-95 corridor region this evening. Let's keep moving forward here. And we talked yesterday about how deep this could drive down to the south and east, how much it digs over the next couple of days, and its interaction with this wave in the northern stream, both of which will play an important role in the ultimate storm track. Again, the farther south and east this digs, the more south and east the track of the storm will be, and that's a colder solution for the mid-Atlantic region and the northeast U.S. And here we go by Sunday morning. At this time, you have a very healthy looking upper level feature sitting right along the east coast, and again, it looks like it could be anything from heavy rain to accumulating snow and ice, and it may very well begin, let's say, in southeastern Pennsylvania as an example, as snow Saturday afternoon, then gradually change over to rain at night, maybe some freezing occurring at night as well, and then perhaps back to sleet, freezing rain, and then snow on Sunday, and all of that will be followed by an Arctic blast. Let's move finally ahead into Monday morning. And Monday promises to be a relatively dry day, but bitter cold in the mid-Atlantic region. And one other feature I'd like to point out here on the 500 millibar level is out here across the western. Notice another system, a very healthy looking upper level feature early next week, and that promises to bring some more rain and snow to the mid-Atlantic region by the middle part of next week. Very active weather pattern continues. Well, let's now take a look at the surface mass from last night's 0Z run of the GFS model. Here's that low pressure area out over the south central U.S. Quite weak compared to what's going on out in the west. Let's move forward here. Again, snow moves in perhaps at the end of the afternoon in D.C. and then into Philadelphia, New York City early tonight. Could very well taper off to sleet and freezing rain late tonight towards daybreak, and that could cause a few slippery spots, expecting again a coating to an inch or two of snow. Meanwhile, the pounding continues out in the western U.S., and then as we move forward here, we'll take a look here. Now this is the GFS model, and here's the low pressure area as depicted by the GFS at Saturday evening. Notice snow north of the Mason-Dixon line. That initial burst of snow Saturday afternoon north of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border could very well produce a quick thumping, a quick accumulation of a few inches in Pennsylvania, even down into the Philadelphia metro region. And keep in mind, the GFS model has actually been a little bit farther to the north and west with the storm track compared to some other models like the European or the UK Met. So there's some wiggle room in this, and this is basically a little bit of a warmer solution. In other words, more rain, depicted here by the GFS for the I-95 corridor region than the other models. This can still shift to the south and east. By late Saturday night, heavy snow in the higher elevation regions of northwestern Pennsylvania, interior New England, and again, they could end up with 1 to 2 feet of snow by the time all is said and done by Sunday night. Let's move forward here. By Sunday morning, likely to be some plain rain along the coast and maybe even still in the I-95, immediate I-95 corridor region, But colder air is ready to pounce onto the I-95 corridor by midday or later in the afternoon on Sunday. And here we go. That cold air influx could cause a changeover to sleet and freezing rain, and then ultimately to snow. Could be a quick freeze-up Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, as Arctic air floods the mid-Atlantic region. Any leftover water on the roadways could quickly freeze up. Certainly any snow or slushy snow could very well freeze up by Sunday evening. The coldest air of the season so far, and this will cause temperatures to drop by early Monday to the single digits in much of the I-95 corridor region, and they'll struggle on Monday to escape the teens, even in D.C. Philadelphia, especially in New York City, likely to stay in the teens on Monday. Arctic high in control early next week, and then we'll watch this system out in the west that could arrive in the east Tuesday night, Wednesday time frame. So a lot to go through over the next week or so. A major storm this weekend produces significant precipitation. Everything's still on the table for the I-95 corridor region, including heavy rain and accumulating ice and accumulating snow. That's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.